What's next for the Knicks in the offseason? The Knicks, and this is relevant, guys. You can complain about big markets or anything like that, but the New York Knicks were eliminated in game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. It's arguably the best team the Knicks have had in a generation. It's a franchise that hasn't won a title since the early 70s. And it's one of the saddest things to think about. New York is the mecca of basketball. I know it was invented by James Naismith in Canada, but the heart of basketball is New York, okay? Madison Square Garden is ground zero for basketball under the lights, all right? That's where you want to be. And they've just never had the success that they deserve to have in that city and Manhattan. And now there are many beliefs that this is and was their best chance to ever make a run at winning a title. The question is, how true is it? And the answer is depends on how old you are. But I actually think the Knicks are knocking on the door more than people think. They have some offseason decisions to make. Do they keep their core or they blow it up or do they blow it up for some talented players? Now, the rumor going around is Giannis to New York. That's the big rumor. One of the other rumors is somehow finding a way to land Kevin Durant after they failed to get him way back when. I guess this would have been 2019 when he left Golden State when they tried to get him, but he went to Brooklyn to try to build a historically great team there. Didn't work out. So maybe they try this time around to get him. Okay, let me say this up front. If you have a chance to get Giannis, you get him. You go and get Giannis. Giannis Antetokounmpo, even at 31, has a good 5-6 years left. I would personally trade Karl Anthony-Towns for Giannis. And I say that as someone who loves Karl Anthony-Towns. I think he's totally misused, and it's not totally his fault he's misused. But unless the Knicks do a coaching change because Tom Thibodeau doesn't know how to use him, they just can't handle. They don't know how to utilize his strengths. And to a degree, let's be fair, Karl Anthony-Towns hasn't really fully developed the footwork and the interior presence that he needs to. So with that in mind, if I'm the Knicks, I would trade Giannis for Cat in a heartbeat. Now, Cat's a bit of a bowling ball the way Giannis is a bit of a bowling ball the way Cat is too. Greek Freak is known for just like barreling into the lane. And he's got a lot of issues throughout his career that have shown that. He's never been fully consistent from the free throw line, hasn't been as finesse as you want him to be. He's much more finesse now than he was when he was drafted 11 years ago. We can say that. And honestly, to a certain degree, he's maintained his level of success from his MVP years. He's actually, to his credit, you can make this argument. Greek Freak is actually somewhat better than his MVP years, or at least on par. This past year at a 30.5 PER, which is very close to his 2 MVP years. The only reason he's not having the same level of popularity is because this guy named Nikola Jokic came along, who is just dominating the stat sheet because he's one of the greatest players of all time. But Giannis is still really, really, really good. And at 31, he still has at least 5 really, 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 really good years left, given the way it looks like he takes care of himself. So with that in mind, yeah. And here's the really important point. Giannis is 31, Karl Anthony-Towns is 30. Not a big difference in age. And Giannis is significantly better and doesn't seem to have the same issues with health. Tom Thibodeau would not have the same issues in terms of actually figuring out how to use him because Tom Thibodeau is not the best with utilizing talent, but he can handle somebody like Giannis better than he can Karl Anthony-Towns because Giannis ain't that hard to figure out how to use, guys. So with that, yes, I would trade Giannis up front. I would trade Karl Anthony-Towns up front to land Giannis if I'm the Knicks. I would do everything I can to do that. I would trade nobody for Kevin Durant. I would trade nobody for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, and this is going to be one of my hottest takes of the year. But Kevin Durant is no longer a top 20 player in the NBA. Yes, you heard that right. Kevin Durant is no longer a top 20 player in the NBA. Let's just go through all the data metrics to point that out. In terms of player efficiency rating, is Kevin Durant top 20? No. Where does Kevin Durant rank in terms of player efficiency rating? Well, Kevin Durant is all the way down at I'm not sure if he's in the top 100. Excuse me. I'm pulling this out now. He's 140. So in player efficiency rating this year, Kevin Durant was 140. So where does Kevin Durant rank in player efficiency rating? Number 140. Where does Kevin Durant rank in other advanced stats? Well, let's pull those out too, because where does he rank? And let's just bring this one up. How about win shares? Where does Kevin Durant? Where does Kevin Durant rank in win shares? The beloved, wonderful Kevin Durant. Oh, wait, that's right. He's 140 in win shares too. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. He's 140 in win shares. Kevin Durant is. Oh, excuse me. I need to get these stats right. I apologize to you guys for a minute. I'm sorry. He's not 140 in win shares. I need to correct that. Kevin Durant's PER rating as of right now is 21.2. That would put him at number 21. So, where does Kevin Durant rank in PER? Number 21. Where does Kevin Durant rank in win shares? Oh, that's right. Tied for number 67. Where does Kevin Durant rank in win shares per 48 minutes? He's all the way down at number 84. Where does Kevin Durant rank in box plus minus? Which again talks about the difference you make when you're on the court. Well, his box plus minus this year was 3.2. By the way, he had a negative defensive box plus minus, and his 3.2 box plus minus overall, all the way down at number 29. Where does he rank in value over replacement? Once again, all the way down at 30. Kevin Durant's outside of the top 20 in every stat that matters of all the advanced metrics. And he's 37. In no way, shape, or form should the Knicks trade Karl Anthony-Towns or who's 29. I said 30 earlier. I spoke out of turn. He's actually 29, but he's going on 30 this year. But in no way, shape, or form should they trade Karl Anthony-Towns. Should they trade Mikal Bridges? Should they trade Josh Hart? Any of these guys I'm naming for Kevin Durant. All of them bring more value to the table for Kevin Durant. But most importantly, and this is the biggest thing related to the Knicks, they should absolutely not consider trading Jalen Brunson whatsoever. I think Jalen Brunson is one of the most desirable players, particularly for a point guard, that you could ever ask for on your team. And I think Jalen Brunson is a guy that could only get better at 28 because as a point guard, you actually get better into your 30s. And he had the second best PER of anybody who played regularly this year to Karl Anthony-Towns. And Karl Anthony-Towns is a center that Tom Thibodeau misuses, that probably has already peaked. More importantly, Jalen Brunson actually has better advanced metrics than Karl Anthony-Towns. Now, let me throw a caveat, which is that Jalen Brunson has some defensive issues. Okay, his defensive box plus minus is negative 0.8. But Karl Anthony-Towns was a negative 0.2, so both were net negative on defense. That can be an argument to trade Karl Anthony-Towns for Giannis, who still to this day, to be fair, has a pretty good defensive box plus minus. It was 2.5 this past year. Okay, so you will upgrade defensively if you trade Cat for Giannis. You'll definitely upgrade defensively if you trade Jalen Brunson for Giannis, but I wouldn't trade Jalen Brunson for Giannis because I think a guy like Brunson is harder to replace than a guy like Cat. But when you bring up somebody like Kevin Durant, his defensive box plus minus negative 0.7. He's also a liability now on defense because of his age. So I think the move straight up is trade Karl Anthony-Towns for Giannis Antetokounmpo and go all in on changing up that team. I don't know if they'll do it, but that would be my move.